I want to bring in now Holly Williams, who I understand is joining us to talk to us more about legacy and about those two princes, the brothers, William and Harry, and how they're dealing with everything now. Holly?
Good morning, Lana. Well, we've actually just had a statement from Harry this morning that appeared on his website with a photo of the Duke together with the late Queen. He referred to her simply as Granny and said he was grateful for memories, including the first time that she met his, quote, darling wife and hugged her great-grandchildren. Well, this comes as Harry and Meghan's relationship with the rest of the royal family appears as complicated as it's ever been.
Nobody expected this. Estranged brothers and their wives together again. Harry and Meghan back on royal duty more than 2 years after they quit.
I think there are some major unresolved issues at foot.
Roya Nickers, a royal correspondent, reporting on the monarchy for over a decade.
For William and Harry to agree to come together and do that walkabout was not plain sailing.
What were they disagreeing about?
Probably the nature of how they were going to do it, you know, how close they were going to be, were they going to come in the same car, were they not? All of those things are at play.
As the Queen's health failed, close family members flew together to her castle in Scotland, but Harry travelled alone. And while representatives initially said Meghan would accompany him, in the end she didn't go, reportedly because the royal family told the couple they wanted to limit numbers. Kate also stayed at home. In his first address to the nation as monarch, King Charles seemed to offer an olive branch.
I want also to express my love for Harry and Meghan as they continue to build their lives overseas.
But he also highlighted the brothers' divergent paths, promoting William and Kate to the roles of Prince and Princess of Wales. That's the title last used by Diana.
Had Harry and Meghan not stepped back from royal duties when they did, they would have stepped up too in terms of positioning, role, seniority. He is still the son of the king, but he's hanging out with movie stars and making Netflix shows in America.
There is a report in the British media that William and Harry could walk side by side behind the Queen's coffin at her funeral. But at this stage, we cannot confirm that. Lana and Anne-Marie.
Really a complicated relationship indeed. You sort of hoped that, especially given that Meghan had said that her relationship with the Queen was so strong that the family would entirely come together, but it seems like there's still some questions about that. Holly Williams, thank you.
So, Holly, I actually have a few questions to sort of ask you before we let you go. I thought it was really interesting, you know, you read a portion of Harry's statement, and as we know, when it comes to the royals, there is not one syllable that is not sort of really thought about. Everything's on purpose, deliberate. And I thought, you know, I saw some critical headlines talking about time wasted with the rift between the two brothers, that Queen Elizabeth II did not get a chance to spend as much time with her great-grandchildren as she would have liked to. But it seems like in that statement, Harry's sort of trying to clear the air a little bit. What do you make of the statement and what it says about the relationship he had with his grandmother?
Perhaps, you know, I think we probably don't need to overthink it very much. I mean, Harry and the late Queen were said to have a sort of very close and warm relationship. Remember that at one stage, his popularity in this country kind of rivaled hers. He was immensely popular here. And it seemed publicly that he kind of seemed to bring out the naughty side in the late Queen. There's a really interesting video that Harry made with the Queen to promote the Invictus Games. That's the organisation that Harry set up that organises sporting events for wounded veterans. And that video features not just Harry and the Queen, but also both of the Obamas. And it's funny. If you haven't seen it, take a watch. He also, when he left behind royal duties, he was at pains to point out that he had not, quote, blindsided the Queen with that announcement, because that was an allegation that was made in the British media. And he really wanted to refute that and say that he hadn't done that to the Queen. So I really think this statement is just everything that you would expect from a loving grandson who has lost his grandmother.
As you know, tensions have been pretty high between Harry and Meghan and the rest of the royal family. They made some allegations about racism within the royal family. I'm wondering, it was purely by happenstance and coincidence that Meghan and Harry were even in the UK when the Queen passed away. How are they being received?
That's an interesting question. Well, remember, just to give it the broader context, yes, there was that allegation that a racist comment had been made by an unnamed member of the royal family, but it was bigger than that as well. In that interview with Oprah Winfrey, Harry and Meghan alleged that she had not been given the sort of support that she should have had from aides within the royal family when she was taking a bit of a beating from the British media. And they also said that she hadn't had the kind of support that she deserved when she had mental health issues. Remember that it's been ongoing since that interview with Oprah Winfrey. They've given more statements, they've given more interviews, and Harry is about to publish a book, which presumably is somewhat worrying to the royal family. But since they've been here, from what I've seen, they've seemed to be received extremely warmly by members of the public. And I think that a reconciliation between Harry and Meghan and other members of the royal family, a public reconciliation, would go down extremely well with the British public. However, from what I understand, we are not yet at that stage.
Well, sometimes it's baby steps, as long as it's going in the right direction. Holly and Lana, thank you so much, ladies.